Mr. Holmes?
Ah, no voy a hablar con... Ah, vale. ¿Dónde está? No, esta es la chisma de... Inspector Lestrade. La morgue. Sala de interrogatorio.
Mr. Holmes?
Ah, vale, no es. Ok. John Nelligan.
I have heard the story of Dawson and Nelligan, the West Country bankers.
Yes. Joshua Nelligan was my father.
I am aware that it had a bad ending. When the bank failed, it ruined half the families of Cornwall, whereupon Joshua Nelligan disappeared.
My father was under extraordinary pressure. Dawson had retired. I was only 10 years of age at the time, but it was still old enough to feel the shame that befell our family. My father was convinced that he could pay off all his debts if the creditors gave him time. He set sail for Hammerfest in Norway in his small yacht, just a few days before an arrest warrant was issued. He left my mother a list of the securities he was taking. No word was ever heard from him again. We believe that his vessel went down, taking with it everyone and everything on board.
Thank you for the story, Mr. Nelligan. At last, we are making some progress.
¿Puedo? Efectivamente, esto era lo que quería. Gorra raída. Cuello delgado. Parche. Esto no. Mangas cortas. Hostia. Callos. Cicatrices. De eso sí que me fijé. Botones historiados. Tejido caro.
Does this notebook belong to you?
Yes. But where did you find it? I did not know... I thought I'd lost it at the hotel.
What do these abbreviations mean?
Oh, no. I beg you, I can't. If I told you, it would only make things worse.
But I will find out eventually, Mr. Nelligan. The sea knife was found near Carey's body. Tell me, Mr. Nelligan, did Mr. Carey try to defend himself or to attack you with it?
I don't know. I didn't kill anyone.
The police seized this valuable ring from you. Whose is it?
I didn't steal it from anyone. It has always belonged to me.
Siempre me ha pertenecido. Grabado. De R. Dawson a mi amigo y socio.
The ring's date of engraving is many years ago. You would have been a child then, hardly in any position to receive such an item from a partner.
Propietario del
So,
anillo.
Mr. Nelligan, who is the true owner of the ring?
The ring is mine.
Chaqueta de su padre. El anillo es mío. Chaqueta de su padre.
No, Mr. Nelligan. I believe that the ring had belonged to your father.
Oh, but how do you know?
The jacket you are wearing is made of an expensive fabric that only a man of exceptional wealth could afford. You do not seem to me to be a rich man, Mr. Nelligan. Furthermore, the garment is ill-fitting. It is quite clear that it belonged to someone else, most probably your father. With your father gone and taking with him the family's wealth, as a little boy you had to find yourself a manual job, and it was most probably cleaning fish. You cut your hands often while working. I can tell from the scars.
I'm speechless, Mr. Holmes. It all happened exactly as you say.
Huh.
Interesting. Joshua Nelligan and Peter Carey were both at sea in
Tipo de
Norway.
relación.
There is definitely some connection between Peter Carey and Joshua Nelligan's disappearance.
A ver, está armado con un cuchillo, pero no tuvo tiempo de emplearlo. El asesino actuó rápida. Clavado a la pared. Una mariposa, caja de latón desaparecida. Le había prohibido tocarla a todo el mundo. Aunque podía haber conservado la petaca. Su mujer no la había visto antes, pero tenía prohibido entrar en la cabaña. A ver, caja de latón. Peter... cuidaba él solo el jardín, no parece plausible. Un cuaderno, una mancha de sangre, lo que indica que cayó en el charco que se produjo tras el asesinato. Pertenece a Nelligan. ¿Cómo? Recuperación del cuaderno. Hubo intentos de allanamiento con el fin de recuperar el cuaderno que fue hallado en el charco, lo que podría mostrar la culpabilidad de quien los realiza. Ah, coño, pero eso ya lo había dado por hecho yo. ¿No? Actuación rápida y clavado a la pared. Tarea, experimento necesario. Tenemos que averiguar si un hombre sin destreza ni práctica podría manejar un arpón lo bastante bien como para matar a un hombre atravesándolo por completo. Creo que no hace falta comprobarlo, ¿eh?
I need to stage a reconstruction. I'm sure that Watson would be happy to oblige.
¿En serio? LOL. Cosa... John no es un ladrón. ¿Cuál es su papel en todo esto? Claro que lo voy a decir. Watson, ponte aquí, quédate quieto que te voy a atravesar. A ver si...
A
No,
spot
es que
of
no sé.
whaling, Watson. Would you care to take part?
Are you serious?
No, but we do need to clarify what happened on the night of Black Peter's murder.
A reenactment, then? Is something bothering you?
Evidentemente esto es un
The
segundo
sailor's
vídeo.
knife, Watson.
Evidentemente.
Why was it on the floor?
Peter Carey attempted to defend himself?
It is possible. But if that is the case, then it alters many things.
I don't quite follow you.
Tell me, my friend, what is the animal closest to man, morphologically, I mean?
Ah, I see what you're getting at, Holmes. You asked me that once before. On the Ripper case, I believe. Do you want to slit some more pigs' throats?
No.
Well, thank goodness for that.
I wish to impale one with a harpoon.
Joder.
Wonderful.
Watson, let us pay a visit to our butcher friend in Whitechapel. We require the carcass of a well-fed pig.
LOL.
And the harpoon?
One of the harpoons on the wall of Black Peter's cabin should do quite nicely.
Voy a por el arpón.
That should do it. Now I am ready for the experiment.
Hostia, espera, el mapa no lo había visto.
Dundee. Hammerfest. It's a whaling map.
Ah, ya está. Ok. Vale. ¿Qué coño? LOL.
Well, here we are in the preparation room. I can't say that I like the smell of it much. What do you intend to do?
To indulge myself in a little experiment. The challenge of lancing a pig's carcass with a heavy harpoon.
A little experiment?
Stand aside, Watson. This might be dangerous. I am not well practiced in this exercise. Yet.
Holmes, you should aim for the mark in order to perform the most reliable test.
No ha ido muy mal, ¿no?
This is the best possible result that I could get. Do you see, Watson? Throwing a harpoon and pinning a man to a wall requires either exceptional strength and training or diabolical luck.
If it was luck, then it was a chance in 1,000 that night.
Que no,
Well,
que fue una mala bestia.
Let us leave now.
Además, las botas no
Right.
coinciden.
But before we go, I suppose I'll have to pay for all these carcasses you've
Oye, solo ha sido
happily
uno.
mangled.
Very well, but please hurry.
Of course.
Completa. A ver, fuerza requerida. Clavada a la pared. Algunos hechos se pueden interpretar de distintas formas. Siempre puedes cambiar la imagen de un crimen eligiendo entre pistas excluyentes entre sí. Lanzamiento afortunado. Existe la remota posibilidad de que un hombre sin destreza y práctica pudiera clavar en la pared los cojones. Para atravesar el pecho de un hombre con un arpón y clavarlo se requiere muchísima más fuerza que la media. Seguramente sería necesario un cierto 2 hombres colaborando. Proeza de fuerza, ¿no? Digo yo. Yo diría de fuerza, joder, o sea. Ah, el diario. Oh. Cierto. Perdón. El diario, no me había dado cuenta de lo del diario. Pardonnez-moi.
1883. That's the one I need. This is the crew list of the Sea Unicorn.
Peter Carey, examinar texto. El segundo de a bordo.
This is the crew list. This.
Vale.
Log notes for June. Nothing unusual. Log notes for July. Nothing special. Log notes for August. These pages have been torn away. Log notes for August. Canadian Pacific Railway.
Un trozo rasgado, un bono de
CPR.
valores.
A torn piece from a bond certificate. I have seen this abbreviation somewhere very recently. There are 3 ways of discovering what happened in August of 1883 aboard the Sea Unicorn. The first 2 of these will require speaking with a dead man. The last would be to locate vital witnesses, the sailors involved in this whale hunt campaign.
¿Qué significa cada simbolito? Encontrar un uso. Trabajo para Wiggins. ¿Es para el chaval? O... no, Wiggins debería usar... ¿Cómo? ¿En Baker Street?
Something new, Watson. I have the list of sailors who were aboard the Sea Unicorn. We shall soon learn what happened to Nelligan's father. I have only to find them. Let us hope they are still working at the harbour.
I think that if you pretend you're from Scotland Yard...
I doubt it, Watson. And really, I would prefer that all of this remains quiet for now. But I have another solution. I'll call in the specialist.
And who might they be?
The secret police division of Baker Street.
¿Los niños?
You mean young Wiggins and his gang?
Ah, Wiggins
Yes.
es...
Believe me, you'll receive
vale,
more
vale,
useful
vale, vale,
assistance
vale.
from these little
O
urchins
sea, Wiggins es
than
el nombre
from a
del
dozen
niño,
yard
vale, ok.
detectives. Those children are everywhere. They see and hear everything, and they are cunning. All they lack is organization. I'll summon them.
How will you do that?
There is always a watch beneath our window. I have only to call him.
Lol.
Wiggins, could you come upstairs, please?
At your service, Mr. Holmes.
Wiggins, I need you to track down certain people for me. I'll give you a list. You can read, can't you?
Big Oliver from our gang. He can, because his father is the coachman of a famous lawyer.
Fascinating.
Vale.
Here is the list of sailors.
Sailors? Easy. Just got to look where the rum and the red lights are.
Sorry to trouble you, Mr. Holmes, but the inspector asks that you come to the
Hostia.
station as soon as possible.
Thank you. I'll be there shortly.
Encontrar, completado. Reunirse con el inspector. Vale, pues vamos. Vale.
Mr. Holmes, I'm glad to see you.
As always, what happened?
We have a new suspect, Liam Hurtley. I'm thinking that this case will be resolved very quickly now.
Interesting. Pray tell.
Well, the constable that I left at Woodman's Lee noticed a suspicious individual prowling around during the night.
Do you have him here?
Yes, he refuses to speak with us, but we'll make him talk.
Let us hope so.
Ah, yes, and one more thing. The constable told me that at the time of his arrest, the fellow was writing a letter.
Do you have it?
Of course. It's in the evidence.
Bien.
At your disposal. Admit that for once, Mr. Holmes, Scotland Yard is a step ahead of you, eh?
Breathtaking.
Sala de pruebas. Ti, 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 ti. No. Interrogar al sospechoso. Espera. No, la sala de pruebas. Aquí está.
These are the
Hostia.
suspect's belongings. Liam Hurtley's old boots.
Oh,
They're a size 9.5.
me da que tenemos ya al fulano.
The stains are fresh. They can be removed with the proper chemicals. A pen. Nothing unusual about it.
Vale. Pues vamos a ir a... Primero a comprobar las botas y después a lo de la carta.
These boots match the footprints exactly.
Ok. Huellas. Distintos intentos. No, vale, no. Presencia sin explicación. Las huellas de Liam coinciden con las huellas halladas en las botas, lo que prueba su presencia allí. Sin embargo, Judith Carey niega que tengan jardinero. Vale. Con... Ajá. La carta.
I need to prepare a chemical agent that is capable of removing fresh
Eliminando la
ink.
tinta
For this
fresca.
purpose, the chemicals from the flasks should be combined in a certain order to perform a chain reaction. First condition, all 7 reagents should be used.
Joder.
Second condition, orange reagent should be the third one in the sequence after the blue reagent. Third condition, colorless reagent should be added after the orange reagent.
Me he perdido.
First condition.
Deben
All
utilizarse
7
los 7
reagents should be
reactivos.
used.
Muy bien.
Second condition.
El reactivo
Orange
naranja debe
reagent
añadirse el
should be the
tercero
third
en la
one
secuencia
in the sequence
posterior a la
after the blue
adición
reagent.
del reactivo azul.
Third condition. Colorless
Un
reagent
reactivo
should be
incoloro
added
debe ser
after the
añadido
orange
después del
reagent.
reactivo naranja. Es decir, el naranja... A ver... Un momentito.
First condition.
Sí, los
All
7.
7
Siguiente.
reagents should be used. Second condition.
El naranja debe
Orange
añadirse el
reagent
tercero
should be the
en la
third
secuencia
one in
posterior a la
sequence
adición del reactivo
after the
azul.
blue
Es decir,
reagent.
echamos un azul
Third condition.
y el tercero
Colorless
el naranja.
reagent should be
Y
added
uno
after the
incoloro debe de
orange
ser
reagent.
después del naranja. Incoloro, naranja, azul, verde... A ver, naranja. Incoloro. Y ahora, azul. Otro azul porque puedo. Verde. Naranja incoloro. Hubiera cumplido las... ¿No?
No, something isn't right. I need to start the reaction from the beginning again.
Pues le van a dar por el culo a esto, ¿eh? Saltar. Hice lo que me dijiste y los escondí bien, pero te pido que reconsideres, Ion, Tejur, y recuerdes nuestras promesas. No he hecho nada deshonroso por lo que debas de mí. Conversación. Encontrar un uso al bono de valores. Interrogar al sospechoso. Vale, un momento. Perdón.
My archive. This is where I keep my
Periódicos.
archive. I can always consult with it if needed.
Vale, pues voy a ir a interrogar a... He estado un buen rato, como habéis visto ahí... Bueno, os lo habré puesto a cámara rápida, digo yo, no lo sé. Pero cuando digo buen rato, me refiero a buen rato, ¿eh? Liam Harley, John Nelligan... Espera. El nuevo sospechoso, sí.
Please escort this suspect for interrogation. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Sherlock Holmes. I would like to ask you a few questions.
I've already told the police that I've nothing to say. And you're not even part of the police.
Precisely. And considering your situation, it might be wise to speak with someone who is, shall we say, rather more neutral. You are a suspect in a murder case.
I know. Inspector Lestrade told me. It's ridiculous.
Could you at least tell me who you are, and exactly what happened that you should be brought here?
My name is Liam Hurtley. That I can tell you. But you're not getting any more than that.
Well, we shall see.
Hostia. Manos de jardinero.
Tell me, Mr. Hurtley, what were you doing at Woodman's Lee?
Woodman's Lee? I've never been there.
The second pair of boots that you had with you when you were arrested perfectly match the footprints found near the cabin where Peter Carey was murdered.
Footprints? That's your proof? How many men have boots like mine? That doesn't make me a murderer.
Now that your presence at Woodman's Lee has been proven, would you care to explain it?
I don't remember. What would I be doing there anyway?
Because you are the gardener at Woodman's Lee.
I'm not. How did you...
I observed your hands. They told me that you work with the earth. Small fragments of plants snagged to your trousers indicate that you were mowing very recently. But the most obvious clue presented itself in the bird embroidered on your handkerchief. A crested tit, if I'm not mistaken.
All right, you got me. Yes, I am a gardener, and I went there to get my tools.
So tell me, Mr. Hurtley, what did you hide?
Hide? What are you talking about?
Carta de Harley.
I did as you asked and hid them
Ah.
well. Should I continue?
My letter? But the ink? That's impossible.
A touch of chemistry, nothing special.
Well, you're a smart one, but it's nothing. If you want to know, I was referring to my tools. It was to do with my work, see?
I will check that, Mr. Hurtley. That's all for now. Hurtley's stories are false leads, but now I know one thing for certain. I must examine the site where the garden tools are kept at Woodman's Lee.
Vale.